Though the Minnesota Vikings control their playoff destiny with 2 games remaining, even the most optimistic purple-clad fans have to be nervous going into this afternoon's road finale at Detroit. After all, it's been more than 2 months since the Vikings last won outside of Minneapolis, amounting to a 2-4-1 road record. But a win today, coupled with an Eagles loss, would clinch a playoff berth. On the opening drive for Detroit, it's the SDSU alum Zach Zenner bursting through for a 29-yard run to pick up a first down. He carried 8 times for 45 yards to lead Detroit. Frankly, should have ran him more. The Lions built a 9-0 lead. Late second quarter, Vikings come to life. Kirk Cousins, 8 yards to Stephon Diggs, and it's 9-7. Minnesota gets it back and has time for one last play at the Detroit 44-yard line. Now Cousins drops, buys time, everybody gets down in the end zone. And how fitting is this with Christmas near? Rudolph delivers. Kyle Rudolph catches the Hail Mary touchdown at the end of the half. Take one more look. He's a former basketball player, and yeah, he looked like he was going up for a rebound on that one. When doesn't Rudolph deliver on Christmas time? It's 14-9. That pretty much turned the game around. Viking defense was great again. They sacked Matt Stafford 10 times in the last meeting. They had 3 today. There's a big one from Everson Griffin. It's 17-9 after 3. And the dagger, fittingly, comes from Rudolph, his second touchdown grab of the day, as Minnesota gets off the schneid on the road, picks up a big 27-9 win. Big game for Kyle Rudolph, 9 catches, 122 yards and 2 touchdowns, and a play that may be the biggest touchdown of Minnesota's season.
I didn't have to move one step off of my spot, and I was able to just jump up. And I joked earlier, I had a lot of rebounds in high school basketball, and at that point it just turns into another rebound. So maybe see if I can get that added to my career total in high school rebounds.
That's just an impressive play, very natural hands, and he's a tremendous talent, and a lot of that came through on that play. Certainly was a big way to gain some momentum going into the half after a slow start, and you know, they were calling it a Hail Rudy after it happened instead of a Hail Mary, so that was pretty good.
So after finishing off the Lions, the Vikings turned their attention to Philadelphia, where they needed the Eagles to lose to the Texans, and it looked like Houston would oblige. Late fourth quarter, Deshaun Watson, 35 yards to Vincent Smith, and the Texans have a 1-point lead, but Nick Foles threw for a Philadelphia record 450 yards, and they get a field goal in the final seconds from Jake Elliott, so the Vikings do not clinch a playoff spot. It will come down to the final week as Philly saves their season with a 32-30 win. Elsewhere in the NFL, the Packers playing out the string at the Jets, and it was all Jets early on. Sam Darnold, 33 yards to Robbie Anderson to make it 14-0. Aaron Rodgers would lead the Pack back. They haven't really played that well on the road, much like the Vikings this year, but they saved it for the end of the season. Rodgers tucking and running for the first of 2 touchdowns. Game goes overtime, tied at 38, when Mr. Rodgers ends it with a 16-yard strike to Devontae Adams. Green Bay gets the win, although I don't know if they're going to be too happy about that because it probably cost them draft position, 44-38 in overtime. Bears come to Minneapolis next week. They're locked in a tight one right now at San Francisco. Late game tonight, Kansas City can lock up the top seed in the AFC with a win over Seattle. You'll see that right here on KDLT. And the Monday nighter tomorrow is Denver at Oakland. Well, 2018 was supposed to be a rebuilding year for the South Dakota State football team after the graduations of star receivers Jake Wieneke and Dallas Goedert to the NFL. Instead, SDSU found new blood to lead the program into the playoffs for the 7th straight year and back to the FCS semifinals. We remember some of the best sights, sounds, and moments from the 2018 Jackrabbits with this special edition of Gridiron Greatness.
Let's go, let's go. Bless him, one, five, bless him. Yep.
Has stolen the show on opening night. Hunger for more, not afraid to fall. Had to cut a man down to get around. But someone had to tumble, and someone give to Wallace off the right side, and he's into the end zone. It's a walk-off win for South Dakota State. Don't try to fight. Nothing you can do, and I'm gonna run all over you. If you want to try, there's nothing you can do. I'm gonna run all over you. Christian looking deep down the right side. Wide open is Kay Johnson. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Brady Sorensen snap is good. It's a fake. Hale throws it to Vinatieri. There's nobody in front of him. He's done it again. Christian will keep off the right side. Inside the 10. Breaks a tackle inside the 5. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown. Strong Jr. running right to the 25. Cuts left. Inside the 20. 15. Right numbers 10. Cuts right 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown. Jackrabbits.
Well, since the 2011-12 season, the South Dakota State men's basketball team is 95-6 at Frost Arena. Yet in that span, they're 0-2 against the Montana Grizzlies, who for the second time in 5 years ended a nation-leading home court win streak. The Grizzlies stunning the Jacks last night, 85-74, snapping SDSU's nation-leading 26-game home win streak a little over 5 years after they stopped a similar 30-game streak. This despite 33 points and 15 rebounds from Mike Dahm, who was today named Summit League Player of the Week.
You know, we do everything we can to try to come out the more aggressive team and be the ones that really, you know, kind of punch them in the face, so to say, first. But they were the ones that put us on our heels, and I feel like we were just kind of in a back pedal the entire night.
A lot of teams don't have that poise and aren't talented enough to just go make those plays, and then we kind of get on that run. And tonight, what we need to take away and learn from it is that you can't take that for granted.
Jacks open conference play on Friday at Western Illinois. We're back in 1 moment.